what's going on? It's Russ, and I'm here with Contrast Magazine.
What's up, y'all? I'm Alex Quinn, and you're tuned into Contrast Magazine. I'm here in Los Angeles with Russ. What's up, dog?
Can't complain. Appreciate y'all having me.
Nah, man, we're super excited to have you here. Thank you for having a great attitude. Your team has been amazing. We're really excited to launch this cover with you, man.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm honored.
The looks were incredible. The vibes were incredible.
Y'all had me on my 70s.
Right?
Yeah, I liked it. It was cool.
Hey, man, I'm really excited to sit down with you because I've gotten to know a lot about you over the last few weeks leading up to this interview. I got a chance to read your book. It's all in your head. Get out of your way.
Yeah.
I love the way that you articulate yourself. I love the way that you think. I love the way that you try to be better. I love the way that you know that you're all about your family. You're all about your friends. You're all about growing with your people.
Yeah.
Taking ownership in what you do. How do you feel, man? You've been killing it for 10 plus years, man.
I feel like I just got started, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I just feel like when you're locked in on a definite aim, it's easy to kind of get lost in the game and in the climb of it. So, you know, you kind of recognize new levels and you got to be present and be grateful for those new levels. But at the same time, I just love the climb. I just love playing the game of it, you know? So I still feel fresh and new and, you know, like I feel like I'm reaching a new level now where I'm like, ooh, this is exciting, this is new. So like this feels like chapter one of a new thing, you know. So
and it's easy to get discouraged, but it's really cool to see that you've remained consistent across all your albums, across all your projects, and you have an attitude where you believe in yourself, you know exactly what you're doing. You don't let anything discourage you from what your focus is.
Well, things discourage me. I just hide them well. You know?
We all do a little bit.
Yeah,
you know?
and I think it's just important to like not live in that discouragement for too long.
Right.
Getting discouraged is like just, it comes with the dinner.
Right.
You know what I mean? But for me, like I said, I just try not to live there for too long and I try to flip it into fuel and inspiration, you know? So it's like and a lot of times discouragement usually comes from me at least, from my experience, it's like ego is involved.
Right.
And attachment to results is involved.
Right.
So, you know, for me, like I said, in my experience, when I like kind of check those two things, I'm like, all right, I'm bugging.
Right.
And you kind of snap out of it.
Yeah, auto-analyzing yourself, meditating, like really being in tune with who you are. I know that you're close to your mother. Yeah. Your mother's very intuitive, very big into that stuff. Yeah. How is that support system, having your mother support you throughout your career, being there for your father? It would be very important. Not everybody has that, man.
Yeah, no, I was and am very blessed.
Yeah.
My parents always supported curiosity, you know, which I think is like a very underrated value in people's life. I think when you can be confidently curious, you're gonna stumble on something that probably sticks in the enthusiasm category, you know, for the long term. Yeah.
And that's having that family as your support system is always important because a lot of the times they want something for you and then you're seeing something else and it's hard for them to really accept that because they're maybe scared or worried that
it was hard at first for them, for sure. Yeah, because I dropped out of school and my mom was sick about that. Yeah. She didn't want me to do it. She didn't want me to drop out of school. My dad was actually like convinced her to like, nah, let him drop out of school and do this music thing. So
I read in your book that I believe you made a deal with your mother.
Yeah.
She made you sign a paper.
A contract. I failed.
Tell me about the contract.
It was basically, so when I dropped out of school, she was like, all right, well, you have to sign this piece of paper that says by this date, if you're not self-sufficient with music, then you need to go back to school. I forget what the date was. I wish I still had that contract. I don't know.
You don't have it?
I don't know where it is, but I definitely did not meet the deadline. Yeah.
But you made her proud.
Yeah, ended up making her proud, yeah.
That's amazing, man.
But that's why those little, like, those small wins along the way are really important, even for, like, getting your parents sometimes on your side and your family and friends. It's not just about, like, you're in the basement making no money and people are only going to believe it when you're making $1 million.
Right.
It's like the small wins where like now you're making $1,000 a month or hey, this guy from MTV just shouted me out. It's like, oh, okay, things are happening.
Starting to come together.
Yeah, and you got to count all those small wins, you know, for sure. I remember when I first started making, I thought I was paid, and I was like lit. I was making like $1,000 a month for like 4 months on TuneCore. There was like this crazy spike. It was $1,000, and I was like buying my mom purses and buying my sister shit, because I was just thinking like, oh well, I'm always just gonna be getting at least $1,000 a month. And sure enough, it only lasted like 4 months. And then it went back down to like $200 a month. I was like, damn, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
But it was cool for me, and I think for my family around, even at that time, like, it was dope that even with that little bit of a win, my whole MO was like, I'm trying to share it and splurge on my family with it, you know, so.
Naturally, that's the first thing you think about. And most people, the first thing you think about is, you know, they want to be financially secure, they want to be successful, they want to see the people that they love doing well. You know what I mean?
And I think the way to feel the power of money is when you give it away.
Yeah.
That's really like, because it's easy to get jaded to anything, but when you give it away, you recognize the power of it. I feel like that's probably true for any blessing, you know? An old t-shirt that you're like, whatever about, you go give it to a kid who has no t-shirt and be like, you know, it's like,
huge deal.
It's perspective, so, yeah.
I think it's really cool how you've grown past, or maybe it wasn't always a focus, right? But you're not focusing on money. You're focusing on legacy, which is, I think a lot of people don't focus on that, and that's why their fan base don't connect with them the way your fans connect with you. Like, you've talked about it. You can stop putting out music for 2 years, but your music, your lyrics, and your, like, the way you think is ingrained in their soul and their spirit and who they are.
Yeah, I think for me, money was never the motive. Money can be a successful motive. A lot of people use money as a motivator, and they get a lot of money because it's a powerful motive. But for me, there's no long-term happiness in that, because you're just always gonna want more money. There's never gonna be enough, you know.
Once you talked about it, once you get through your bucket list, what the fuck do we do now, man?
Yeah,
like, what's up now? What's next?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but it's like, for me, like you said, I'm more focused on my legacy, and my legacy, even hearing you say, like, I like how you think, you know, that's something that means a lot to me to hear from anyone, is because I feel like when you can impact how people think, especially how people think about themselves, that's like,
you change their whole reality.
Yeah, that's something I'm super proud of, and I think very few people, regardless of very few people do it, I'm proud that I'm doing that, because people like I looked up to, like Nipsey Hussle, I think changed a lot of people's minds about how they think about things, especially for me. Like, the marathon was and is a massive, like, you know, thing in my life that I bought into. I believed it, I applied it, so it's dope that I can kind of contribute my own belief systems and ideas about what I think, you know, in terms of self-worth and navigating your dreams.
What's up, y'all? This is Alex Quinn. We're in LA right now with Contrast Magazine. We have a cover shoot with the one and only Russ. We brought a team from New York, Los Angeles, Miami to make this happen. Make sure you guys stay tuned. Check it out. In Utah Freestyle, you say, I've been balancing my chakras in the mountains out in Utah. Mm-hmm. And you're a firm believer in vibrating and positive energy.
Yes.
What methods of meditation do you like the most, or what helps you stay grounded, man?
You know, surprisingly, I don't meditate.
Okay.
Yeah. I should, but I don't. Although I do feel like music is meditative in a sense.
Yeah. It's your ritual.
Yeah. But yeah, that Utah line was true. There's this resort in Utah that I love.
Yeah.
And they have all these like cool spiritual like activities. Like, you go up in the mountains and do like a cacao ceremony, and
oh damn.
Yeah, like the whole chakras, read the cards. It was incredible.
And sure. when do you feel like you need to go there? Is there like a specific time you're like, I need
every other day. How often do I go there? Not enough. It's like, to be honest, I don't spend enough time with nature. Okay. You know, a lot of times I'm like just cooped up in the house. I'll go 3-4 weeks without leaving the house. I don't even notice it. It doesn't bother me. And so I'm like, something will happen. Like I was, this is insane, but I was outside like bringing up my pails, right? Like the garbage pails, right? And like I'm out, it's like 2 a.m. and I just start running up the driveway and I'm like, wow, this is incredible. Maybe I should be outside more. And I was like, holy shit, I think I'm going a little crazy. Maybe I need to leave my house.
It's just you're so focused on work.
Yeah, like I just get so sucked down the rabbit hole of being in the house, my routine. I love my 2 dogs. I got the gym in my house. I've been working out 6 times a week.
Otto and Chloe?
Otto and Chloe,
You name him after Rocket Power? Is that
Otto was already his name, so I
Okay.
rescued him, yeah. And he looked like an Otto. So I was like, you know what? You could rock out. But yeah, I like my routine at my house, so it gets really easy to not leave. You know, I have the Himalayan salt cave down there where I'll just go in and...
I heard about that. Michelle was telling me about it. Tell me about the salt cave.
So it's what it looks like what you think, or maybe it doesn't, I don't know. But it's, floor, ceiling, walls, pink Himalayan sea salt. And they say 45 minutes in there is like 3 days at the beach for your hair, skin, and nails. I don't know how like true it is. I buy into it. I'm in. I'm sold.
What made you do that? Like
my mom.
Yeah, I figured it was probably your mom.
Yeah,
right?
my mom put me on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was when was this? A couple years back. She took me to one, and I was like, "This is the craziest shit ever." And I remember telling her, I was like, "When I get money, when I get a house, I need to put these in my house." And she was like, "You're insane. That's like I don't even think you can do that." Man, when I got a house, I did. So
that's dope.
Apparently you can, and it's not even like, I mean, whatever. My frame of reference of money is like shot now, but I don't think it's that expensive considering what I think people would think it is. But
so your mother's like a huge spiritual guide for you. Like you're really, it's really important for you what she thinks and how she guides you throughout everything, no matter what.
Yeah, she's a certified life coach. You know, and she runs bars on people. She'll like lay you down and do energy work and energy healing.
Yeah.
So she's fully tapped in. Yeah.
My mom's very similar. She always does the essential oils and she's doing the Reiki and the theta healing and this and that.
Level.
Next
level. Next level.
Yeah, man. But that stuff is important,
the shit
man.
out of your hands and stuff.
Hell yeah, man.
That's next level.
Yeah. So look, you're all about changing people's mindset and leaving a legacy behind, making people think.
Yeah.
How do you want to be remembered, Russ?
As someone who got people to trust themselves, believe in themselves, and do it their way.
Right.
Yeah.
And you speak to that.
Yeah.
I really like that. First and foremost, congratulations, bro, because I don't only see you as an artist. I see you as like a rock star businessman.
Thank
you.
you.
I don't see rappers, musicians, like writing books.
Yeah.
This is not an ego book. This is a book where you're giving to your fans and to your readers. It's not about, oh, I'm super cool, I'm doing all this shit. It's like, no, look, this is what I'm teaching you from what I've learned.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to really think about this. I think that shit's really important.
Thank you.
I really like the fact that, you know, you're independent, you preach that, and you got a label coming up, DIEMON.
Yeah.
And you are practicing what you preach. You got Lil Russell as your first artist.
Yeah.
He owns all his masters.
Signed him because of the name.
Yeah, only because of that.
Nah, he's incredible.
Yeah. But you practice what you preach. You start your label, right? And the artists continue to work with you the way you work.
Yeah.
And I think that's fucking awesome, man.
Thank you. Yeah, DIEMON is exciting because it's something that me and Bugis, the co-founder.
Your best friend, right?
Yeah, my best friend and a phenomenal artist. We've had that brand since we were 17. We're 29 now. So it was always like a thought of making it a label, but I think we were waiting till just the right time, you know, and we just felt like it now. But yeah, it's exciting because we get to have a direct hand in the artists of tomorrow's future and careers, and we can help. Like, that's my whole thing now. Like, I see artists and I'm like, I've now assembled the resources and the network myself where I can actually help an artist fully. Because that was the other thing, like, we couldn't start the label until we had all the same resources that a major label has. Yeah. And that takes time, you know, so.
You didn't jump the gun.
No, yeah, so now that I feel like I have like everything set up, it's like, cool, now I am the label, like literally off of the resources alone, so.
You build the battle plan and you execute it when the time was right.
So now when I see an artist that I'm like crazy about, I just know exactly like what to do, like as far as like, okay, this is easy, like here's this amount of money, call these people, put it together and it's a wrap, you know? It's just like having the things in place to really catapult artists that you believe in is just fun. We used to do it all the time when we were 17, 18. We used to like just, you know, whoever discovered this artist first, we used to be like, oh, that's, you signed Drake, you signed Cole, that's your artist. We used to just have like little competitions in the group chat like that.
Yeah.
Like, how are your artists doing? Like, you know, so it just makes sense.
It's crazy how you guys probably had like a bunch of conversations about the industry and about what things could happen or how you saw things happening. And now you're probably one of those people that is making them happen, is actually maybe even disrupting the industry or changing the way the industry operates.
Yeah.
It's changing things around. When Steve Jobs tried to come out with iTunes and try to come out with all this shit that made songs 99 cents, people were freaking out and they're like, what the hell is going on? And now it's like the standard. What's not to say that your way of operating is the new standard?
Shaking shit up is incredible. And it's necessary. It's like, you know, a lot of artists aren't in position to shake things up.
Because of financials.
Yeah, because of financials, and they're signed. They can't really do too much. But for me, my whole MO with artists is just providing them an alternative way to win. I think a lot of artists think that the only way you can have big success is by doing it this way. And so I'm just trying to show people you can do all of that major label stuff this way.
You know what really shook me, man, when I was watching your interview with Charlamagne the God on the Breakfast Club, and you started spitting fire about lines of credit and shit like that.
Yeah.
And he was just like shaken up. It was like you had opened up this world that he had never heard about before. And I want to talk about that because you talked about how, you know, traditionally artists sign with labels, they get an advance.
Yeah.
But obviously they got to pay that advance back. And then once they pay that advance back, they start making money.
Yeah.
You talked about line of credit where you could be, like, the bank could fund you. You know, you could go put out a line of credit, you could fund yourself, and you could essentially look for or get all the resources that a label would do for you, but you're funding it yourself.
And the big thing is the bank doesn't own your masters.
Exactly.
So it's like, it's a no-brainer, in my opinion.
Well, I know it's probably very obvious for our listeners who don't fully understand. Why is it important for an artist to own their masters, and why is that kind of like one of the main things that you like to focus on when you talk about being independent?
It's your creation. So just common sense wise, I feel like you should just own your creations. The other thing, from a financial standpoint, you're financially free at that point. When you own your masters, because, you know, a song is split in half. Half of it is the master, half of it is the publishing.
The publishing, yeah.
Right? So when you own your masters and when you own your publishing, you provide long-term revenue for yourself. It's mailbox money.
Yeah.
You know, it's like these artists who, you know, they get a big check and they sell their masters. And when I say sell their masters, I don't mean literally selling their masters off like what these people are doing now. I mean, when you sign and you give up the ownership to your masters and then you fall off, now you're fucked.
Yeah.
But if you wouldn't have given away your masters, you can fall off. But if you have a hit song that's making $1 million a year, you're fine. You know, but it's like these people just, they catch a hit and they give up the ownership to it just for a check. And I get it, some people are in fucked up situations, but, you know.
I just think nobody had done it the way you did.
There's alternative ways. That's what I'm trying to show.
I just think nobody had really done it the way you did or has done it the way you did towards where there could be a proof of concept.
I agree.
Like, look at this guy selling out arenas worldwide.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have a label. He is completely against what you're used to seeing.
Yeah.
And it works. How is
that's
that?
What, it's funny. Proof of concept is a term we use all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's true. It's like, at the end of the day, if you haven't seen an independent artist have the type of success that you want, then you're not going to do the independent thing. Yeah. So, you know, a lot of times I think in the past, independence has got looked at as like just not as big. You're going to be not on radio. You're not in arenas. You're not making money. But it's like, that's what I'm trying to show. That's why, like, any W I get, any accomplishment, any Billboard chart, any radio, any arena, it's just a win for every up and coming artist, because it's extending the runway. It's like, no, this is how far you can go.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is actually how far you can go. And before you know it, it's like, oh, okay. Like, even if right now he's the only example of major success independently, that simply means it can be done, you know?
Yeah. And you take your career by the reins, man. Like, I love Chomp 2.
Thank you.
And I love how you booked artists for Chomp 2.
Yeah.
It was incredible. You did it yourself.
Yeah.
Look, man, I'm looking forward to seeing you do incredible things. I know you're going to be working on some R&B stuff.
Yeah.
I would love to see you do some work with T-Pain. I'm just throwing that out there. I think you guys would totally chop it up.
Me and T-Pain have something. We have an old song that I did for his album probably a couple years ago, but yeah, he lives around the corner from me.
Yeah?
Literally around the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look, man.
Yeah.
Besides having different eye colors,
also because you brought up T-Pain.
Okay.
Crazy is fucking because someone was like, "Have you ever drifted before, like in a car? Have you been?" And I was like, "Wow, you know what? One time, and I was faded at T-Pain's house, and he took me drifting like
in Florida
no, in Atlanta. I remember just being in the passenger seat, like, what is life like? Like, what the fuck is? So we're just in a parking lot. T-Pain is like going crazy. I'm like, yo, this is nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my drifting car experience.
I'm excited to see that, man. I'm excited to see you record with the greats because I believe you're one of the greats. You're one of the biggest legends in hip hop right now. I want to see you with Drizzy. I want to see you with Cole. I want to see you with Kendrick. Like, I believe that's the level like that you're operating at. So I believe that that's a standard. And I believe that you're strikingly different in the industry. So besides having two different color eyes, man, what makes Russ strikingly different?
I'm just me. So off rip, 101.
You're not trying to be somebody else.
That's the thing. It's like, that's what I always tell people. When you actually live your truth and when you contribute yourself to the world, you don't have to try to be different. You are different by nature, you know? So, yeah.
Guys, you heard it. This is Alex Quinn, Russ, Contrast Magazine. We'll catch you guys on the next one.